Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about something that nobody really wants to say out loud. Queen Creek has a resale problem. Not because people don't want to live there. Don't get me wrong, it's a great place. We lived there for almost 20 years. They absolutely do. The problem is the market has changed and too many sellers are still pricing and marketing their homes like it hasn't. If you're thinking about selling in Queen Creek or any of the surrounding areas like Santan Valley, Apache Junction, even parts of Southeast Mesa, this conversation can save you a lot of money and even more frustration. So here's the growth story. Queen Creek used to be a small farming community. I mean, when we first moved out there, it was more than one stop sign, but there was not many options outside of maybe like Burger King for places to eat, for dining. We did have a Target, but the nearest grocery store, you'd usually drive 10-15 minutes, which may not seem like a lot, but for most of the Phoenix metro area, that's a long drive. And there was next to no entertainment outside of the natural, hiking and biking and trails that I tell you about in a lot of our videos. Just think very quiet. As a matter of fact, when we told people we lived in Queen Creek, they go, "Oh, you're not in Gilbert." Because, Gilbert was the thing. It was all Gilbert. So we had a Target. That was about it. We really drove into Mesa or Gilbert to do most of any of our shopping, dining, entertainment, those kind of things. I mean, it was a big moment for us when we got our Harkins because we are hardcore movie going people and we had to drive about 20 minutes either to Mesa or 20 minutes to Gilbert to go to any movies, which just, do the drive there, do the drive back, and it adds up. Then COVID happened. Population surged, buyers flooded in because even though we were considered far away, with COVID, everybody was working from home. So all of a sudden you didn't have to worry about drive time and the affordability was there. You could get so much more home for a really great price and you remove that driving issue. And wow, it was a win-win for a lot of people. So with this huge surge east to Queen Creek, home values jumped fast. Queen Creek went from being overlooked to being one of the hottest, fastest growing spots in the East Valley. And today it's still highly desirable. But sellers need to understand something really important. Queen Creek itself is small. If you hit the lights right, you can be from one side of it to the other in 12 to 15 minutes and suddenly be in Gilbert or Mesa, Santan Valley, or Apache Junction. And all of that open land surrounding Queen Creek, well, the builders noticed. If you're selling a resale home in Queen Creek, your biggest competition is not your neighbor's house that's for sale. It's the huge amount of new build construction surrounding you. Queen Creek, Santan Valley, Southeast Mesa, the edge of Apache Junction are with builder communities. And when the market cooled over the last few years, the builders didn't panic. They adapted. They started buying the buyers. And here's what we're seeing. Interest rate buy downs, closing costs paid, free appliances, design center upgrades, prepaying your HOA up to 2 years. And a lot of those interest rate numbers we're seeing start with a 2, like 2.99. So buyers aren't just comparing prices, they're comparing monthly payments, cash to close, and peace of mind. That shiny model home down the street becomes very hard to ignore. So here's the interest rate reality check. Let's put some real numbers to this. So situation A, it's a $600,000 home that the builder's giving a 2.99% interest rate versus that same home resale at a 6.25% interest rate. A completely different affordability conversation. At 2.99%, your payments is roughly around $2,500 a month all in. At 6.25%, it's closer to the $3,700 price range. That is over $1,000 more per month for buyers. Buyers feel that difference immediately. So when builders are offsetting that payment with incentives, resale homes must be priced and positioned with strategy to compete. I'm going to share the pricing myth that's costing sellers so much money. Here's the biggest mistake we see today. Let's list high and leave room to negotiate. That worked when homes were getting 20, 30 offers overnight. That market is gone. Today's buyers are educated. They study days on market. They watch the price drops. They know when a home is stale. So instead of listing at 600 and selling at 600,000, we see sellers that want to list at 650, and then they sit, and then they reduce, and they sit some more, and then they end up getting an offer and selling closer to 580,000. But then now the buyers, they're asking for closing costs. They want a home warranty. They want the HOA fees paid by the seller for the big one-time fees. They want every single repair. And of course, they're going to ask for additional concessions. By the end, the sellers often net far less than had they priced correctly from day one. That wiggle room mindset is expensive. Here's why the first 30 days matter. In this market, the goal is simple. We want a strong offer in the first 30 days. Homes that get a contract in the first 30 days get stronger pricing because buyers are worried someone else still might come in and snatch it up. It's only been on for 18 days. So you tend to get better terms. They want to lock that house up quickly. They don't want to linger for days in negotiation with the sellers. Sellers face fewer concessions typically. Homes that sit for 90 to 120 days, buyers figure the sellers are desperate to get an offer, and they are certainly not worried about another buyer coming along and jumping ahead of them. Therefore, buyers, they don't offer list price. They lowball. They stack demands. By that point, often the sellers are frustrated and they just want it sold. And that's not how you maximize your net. Before we go on, let's talk real quick about a pool home versus no pool and the reality. Let me share something that we consistently see in the field, on the ground, out there running with buyers. Resale homes without pools in the Queen Creek area are often sitting closer to 90 to 100 days on market at the moment. Now, homes with pools usually move faster. Actually, before builders rolled out these aggressive rate incentives, resale homes with pools often beat out the new builds because buyers liked having that big ticket item done on day one. But now, when builders are offering interest rates at 2.99%, buyers rationalize, well, we'll just get it later. And that payment, of course, is too good to pass up. However, in my opinion, resale homes with pools do still have a slight edge, especially in Arizona, of course. And that's because we have so many out-of-state buyers that do come here that feel like, they might melt or actually die if they don't purchase their first home with a pool ready to go the moment they move in. So if your resale home does not have a pool, that doesn't mean it won't sell. It just means that pricing and strategy matter even more. And here's something that many sellers underestimate when they're selecting their real estate agent. People don't move to Queen Creek just for the house. They move for the lifestyle. They imagine taking their kids to the splash pad, riding bikes through the neighborhood paths, and then of course spending weekends at Founders Park, the amazing beautiful new park there in Queen Creek with its huge community pool, another splash pad, and event spaces, walking paths. There's so much to do at Founders Park. It's beautiful. Playing at the trampoline park, Elevate, that's just down the street, or bowling at Fat Cats, which also happens to have an arcade, and then there's the movie theater and the rope swing park and go-karts and escape rooms. There's so much to do, and we have not even touched on the dining and hiking and horseback riding, all the other activities. That lifestyle in Queen Creek, that is a major part of how we market your home. Photos alone don't cut it anymore. Buyers need to feel what living in Queen Creek is like and get that sense of experience. Another thing that attracts buyers, schools and safety. Queen Creek Unified has strong ratings and a reputation for a great family environment. And if you live in Queen Creek, there are also numerous charter school options giving families academic flexibility. And then of course, Queen Creek's lower crime rates compared to nearby areas make it especially appealing for people relocating from out of state. These aren't nice bonuses. These are core reasons people choose Queen Creek, and they need to be part of our marketing story for your home. Now let's talk marketing versus reality. Builders your competition understand emotional marketing. They literally pump scented air tested to create a warm, happy feeling into their model homes. They stage perfectly. They advertise on billboards everywhere and online. And then meanwhile, when we're working with some of our resale folks, they're annoyed they have to wipe the back slider down for every showing and possibly scoop out the litter box. That disconnect, that matters. To compete in today's market, sellers must be teammates with us, not spectators. That means strategic pricing, strong presentation, helping us, yes, the kitty box smells are a big deal, need to be handled, and a lifestyle-driven marketing. And then, of course, our Zillow showcase. I've mentioned it in a few other videos. We know people start their search on Zillow. So this new program is phenomenal. When they're looking at our listing photos that we put on there, they can click a button to make the room empty with no furniture. They can click this button over here and go, well, I want to see what it looks like with farmhouse. This program has been limited to local agents doing a certain volume of production. We have been fortunate enough to qualify for that program so that we can extend this incredible opportunity to our sellers. So we need a clear plan, not hope, when selling your house in Queen Creek. And local knowledge is not optional. We had a listing where our sellers caught on the Ring camera the buyers out front on the porch asking their agent where the closest grocery store was. They said they just love the house. It was a perfect fit for them. But this out of area agent told them, well, Queen Creek really doesn't have much, and couldn't give them an answer. And that's just flat out wrong. Literally, had the buyers come in from the other side of the community, they would have seen Aldi's, Trader Joe's, and Target, and then just minutes down the road, there's a Safeway, Albertsons, Fry's. You can go in any which direction in Queen Creek, you're gonna pretty much bump into a grocery store. And then half of Queen Creek is Maricopa County. The other half of Queen Creek is Pinal County. There's a difference, effects for taxes, utilities, and market value. If an agent does not know this, they cannot properly market your home. Listen, Queen Creek is still one of the best places to live in the East Valley. It's near and dear to my heart. But selling there today means more than selling a house. It means selling a lifestyle. And I know this because I see so many Facebook groups where people are saying they can't get their house sold. What should they do? Why isn't their realtor doing more? Pricing with precision and having a strategy designed to win in the first 30 days. If you're thinking about selling and want a real plan, not a fairy tale price, let's talk. Because in this market, the right strategy from day one wins every time.